If I had to start from scratch today and replace my six-figure salary in as little as 90 days, I'm going to share with you in this video exactly what I would do. Not only what I would do, but what I have done and what I teach my clients to do, especially if they are still in corporate America and they are looking to start their business or grow a business they started. Okay. Now, before we get into it, and if you're interested in my step-by-step game plan, then I invite you to stick around and listen all the way to the end. Okay. This is going to be the episode for you. But if you're new to me or true to me, welcome or welcome back. I appreciate you being here. And in case we hadn't met, my name is Katrina Marie, also known as the Boss Chick Biz Coach and your fearless leader. I am a holistic business coach and an RN health and wellness educator, also a freedom strategist. And I help women, teach women who are successful corporate career women and high achieving women entrepreneurs, particularly those over 40, women over 40, women of color, and LGBTQ plus women. I help you to build aligned, profitable online brands and businesses without sacrificing your soul or sanity or compromising your health and happiness. Okay. So if you are looking for a way to replace your income, especially if you are a high figure earner, okay, which is many of the women I work with are, they're corporate leaders, they're working in the C-suite, they are at the front line, they're independent contributors, they're doctors, nurses, lawyers, therapists, you name it. And so if that is you and you're like, okay, I'm never going to get out of this position that I'm in, going the pace that I'm going, or you just don't know a better strategy and you've not yet worked with a coach, or the coach you work with just didn't give you the strategy you needed, or whatever the case might be, follow along here. You can literally jot down these notes, or you can go back and catch the replay of this if you don't catch it all the first time. Listen, hear it once, go back and watch it again, follow these steps, and you will be well on your way. Okay. The first thing I'm going to address, and I'm sure you probably, if you've been following me a while, you know I'm going to say this first. It's always first, and you probably have heard many coaches talk about this, and that is mindset. Now, we can never talk about mindset shifts enough because that is always one of the primary limiting, blocks that people have from making progress, right? Because there are oftentimes a lot of limiting beliefs, money mindset, issues, trauma issues around money, the relationship you have with money, the story you're telling yourself, the narrative you're having, you know what I mean? The people you're surrounded by, all of these things might be hindering your progress. So we do need to talk about mindset first. That is always going to be first. And here's what I want to say about that. Okay, and I'll make this piece short and sweet because you're a smart cookie and I know you'll get it. You first have to accept this concept, and that is a very simple one. You've got to treat your business like a business. Okay, what a concept, right? You've got to act like and treat your business like the business that it is. That means you're not treating this like a side hustle or like an experiment. You have to put yourself in the CEO position. You have to act like a CEO, think like a CEO, become or be a CEO. CEOs don't hustle hard. They hire help. They are strategic. They know their place. They are the big visionary. They're the face of the brand. They treat their business like the big business it already is, or like it will be. Okay. And so you have to act accordingly too. That means you've got to take things very seriously. You've got to, get around other people, like maybe in masterminds or other communities, right? That's going to help you grow. You've got to get around the naysayer, or get from around the naysayers, the joy stillers, joy stillers. I say that so much, all of a sudden that didn't sound right. Dream killers, the people who are negative Nancy's and Debbie Downers and bitter Barbaras and sour Susies, and just those people who don't serve you or do you any good at all. Get around people who empower you, who want to lift you up, who can teach you a thing or two. Never be the smartest one in the room, and always be in a place of, adding value to people, but, getting around people who can add value to you, right? So you need a support system. And that's the first part of the structure that I would say you need. And that's probably the biggest missing piece of the puzzle that you are experiencing right now. So the thing is, you've got to make a decision first. Okay, this is part of the mindset shift still. Make the decision first that this is what you're going to do. The strategy comes second. You got me? Decision first, strategy second. Okay. The second thing I would do, follow me here. I hope you're writing this down. If you don't got something to write with, go ahead and pause this video, go grab something to write with really quickly. Or like I said, listen the first time and then watch it again. Okay. Number two is you're going to define what a premium offer is. Define what a premium offer is and design it. So define and design a premium priced product or service. Okay. I work with service-based entrepreneurs, specifically in the online space. You should know that before I get too far into this video. But if you have a product-based business and you're looking to, or even a brick and mortar, and you're looking to bring that online, I work with those individuals as well. And if you're looking to, couple your product with a service, I can still help you. Now, define and design your premium price product or offer. Okay. And so you want to price it anywhere between 2 and 5K. That's considered high ticket, but it's on the lower scale. Okay. On the lower scale of it's not, I wouldn't even really say it's high ticket as much as it is a premium priced offer. So let's go with that. So, but you want to price your offer between no less than 2,000 and around, between 2 and 5,000, whatever you're comfortable with between those numbers. And from there, you're going to solve a problem that your client has. So obviously you need to know what it is, who your client avatar is, right? Who your ideal client or dream client is, perhaps someone you've already been working with or that you're looking to work with. You need to know their pain points. You need to know what their strongest desires are, and you need to know what urgent needs they have. Okay. I always like to use the analogy coming from the healthcare world as a nurse. You're the doctor, they're the patient. They're always looking for you as the doctor or the service provider to solve their problem. What is the cure? How can you manage their pain? What is the plan of care, right? So you need to have the solution to their problem and be able to speak to their pain points and then present them with that solution, which is your offer. Okay, you follow me so far? So what's feeling painful to them right now? How much in pain do they need to be to actually take action? Meaning, in your case, what do they need to pull out their hard-earned dollars to pay you, to invest in you, in your product or service or whatever your offer is to help them? Because it's all about what's in it for me, right? That's what they're looking at. What's in it for me? How can you get me this desired result? This ultimate outcome or transformation. Okay. So it needs to be an urgent problem for a specific audience or a specific target market or avatar. You with me so far? That's number two. Number three is direct outreach. You need a strategy for this. You should always be pitching. You should always be selling. Now, if you don't already have a sales system set up, then that's already part of the problem as well. People think about funnels as being a very complicated thing, but your funnel can be as simple as you jumping on YouTube like I am right now, or any social media platform of your choosing, sharing your story, giving value, offering your solution to the specific pain point or problem or urgent need or desire that your client or prospect has, right? Get some warm leads to have interest in what you're selling or serving. And then you're going to get them on a call, have the conversation with them, and you're going to offer them whatever your solution is based on the problem they have. It really can be that simple. Okay. You can even start some of the conversations in the DM. And if it's starting to get extensive, a couple of voice notes, a couple of text notes, messages. Now it's time to pull them in on a call. You only need a calendar booking link. There's Calendly. There's Acuity scheduling, which is what I've been using. I've used Calendly before. It's just as good. I would definitely say pay for the paid version. It's a nominal fee. Okay, you can go for the lowest tier. You don't have to do the highest tier. But I say to make sure you have the paid version because you want to be able to use Stripe or PayPal to connect or integrate those two ways of, methods of payment so that you can get paid through the calendar link. Okay. So you are the face of your brand. You would just, either do a live stream or a pre-recorded video, whatever you need to do, create some posts, and you're going to be doing these. This is an organic strategy, obviously, right? Because we're talking about doing this in a way where you're not spending money before you make money. So I'm not going to talk to you about paid ads or anything like that. So this is an organic approach, but you would basically just reach out directly to people on LinkedIn, Instagram, and I'm talking about like build a relationship as well, but reach out to people in the DMs. You'd be surprised that people will, if you strike up a real conversation. Think of it like this, like social media is supposed to be social, right? So you're not supposed to make this feel salesy and sleazy. If you were at a networking event or some sort of social event, would you be standing in the corner somewhere, or would you, even if you're not necessarily an extrovert, you might still strike up a conversation, or if somebody came over to you, you'd be in the corner somewhere having a, couple of drinks. And I don't necessarily mean cocktails, just whatever you're drinking or eating, or just simply conversation that you're having at this networking event, because that's why you're there, right? You're there to be social. It's a social engagement. You understand what I'm saying? So you're going to be having a conversation. In real life, in real time, you're not going to have somebody come up to you or you go up to them and just be like, hey, I saw you standing here, figured you might want to buy my offer. No, you're going to be like, hi, how are you? Wanted to introduce myself. My name is so and so or such and such. What do you do here? What brought you in today? Or, you're going to strike up a real conversation. And in that conversation, you're going to start to discover some things about each other. And then you're going to start having a conversation around what you're discovering, right? And then you're going to say, oh, wow, we have a lot in common. Well, let me ask you this, and if this is your ideal client, you're going to start probing them to answer questions, right? You're going to be prompted to ask them more questions based on the responses they give you, because now you're getting real-time feedback. And now you're using that feedback to present your offer for something that might actually help them. You see what I'm saying? So if you just left them hanging and you know that you have something that actually could help solve their problem, wouldn't that be a tragedy, right? To leave them up to hopefully getting out of pain somehow, some way, someday, some way, but it's not going to be by you. It's going to be by somebody else that they decide to one day go to. Or wouldn't it even be a worst case scenario if they never found the person who was going to be able to help them with their specific pain at all, because you were that person and you didn't take advantage of that opportunity and speak to that and present them with it at that time. But it's the same thing when you're on social media. So you're just thinking about it in that way so you can have a real conversation with real people who's got real problems and need real help. Okay? Does that make sense? Now, this is what I want you to do every single day. There has to be some kind of cadence, even if it's just for a couple of hours at a time. And if you can't do every single day, and by every single day, I mean weekdays, Monday through Friday, can you do 3 days a week from 10 to 2, or from 8 to 10, or from 10 to 12, or during your breaks? Or, you've got to be able to find the time to do this, because this is a critical component that you're missing, right? You need to be able to pitch and sell to people every single day, just like these big companies, they're always selling. Amazon takes no days off. Walmart, Target, I don't know, any high-end store you can think of, these companies take no days off. They're always selling, right? Grocery stores, restaurants, doesn't matter what industry you're talking about or thinking of, doesn't matter. The healthcare industry, they never take days off. We're always selling our services, our products. The pharmaceutical companies, sick people, what people who need to come in for preventative care. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's always a solution to be had. So you need to always be selling. You've got to start thinking like big businesses do and decide what would you do in this case scenario as well. And I'm telling you, you don't even have to guess. I'm literally telling you, you always need to be selling. Okay. Now, this is before you get into any complicated funnels. This is before you get into any running of ads, okay? At some point in time, you can, but right now doesn't have to be that time, okay? You can ease your way into that, but you do need social proof, okay? So we're going to get into how that could look for you here shortly. But before we go any deeper, listen, if this is helpful to you and, and you are not yet subscribed to my channel, then I definitely want you to subscribe, okay? In fact, if you're getting what I'm giving and you love these gems I'm dropping, go ahead and leave a comment right now so we can get this discussion popping, because I want to specifically know what is helping you so far. What are your biggest takeaways and aha moments? And if you are not subscribed to my channel and you find my content helpful, definitely subscribe and be sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss a single episode whenever I drop new content and or go live. Okay? Thank you. Now, I want to talk a little bit about visibility and value strategy. Okay, visibility and value strategy. So I want you to post powerful, value-based content. So you're not just throwing out anything. This is going to be specifically speaking to your ideal client avatar based on what you know of them. And again, going back to their pain points, right? What triggers those pain points? What are the underlying issues? Like dig deeper and think about even where you once were, because oftentimes we start our businesses from a place of pain or a problem, right? Or something that was missing that we didn't have access to, that is still a pain, right? And the idea or the concept of our business was born out of that. So you yourself was once upon a time, and perhaps still are, just in a different aspect of the journey now, right? Your own ideal client. So go back to what you needed in the beginning. Go back to what you needed just a few moments ago, basically, right? And I don't mean literally, don't take me literally on that, but I mean not that long ago, maybe last year, maybe when you weren't making consistent revenue, maybe, or if maybe, maybe it has nothing to do with monetary value. Maybe you help people lose weight or feel good or get energy back or have confidence or whatever it is that you do specifically, okay? What is it that you needed once upon a time that if you could go back and if you could have a coach like you offer you or present to you the solution to your problem at that time, what would that thing have been? Because that's what you need to create for the person that you are called to serve. Okay. Create client stories, real life client stories, even if you haven't been paid by these particular people that you may have done some work with or for. Maybe they were colleagues, professional associates, acquaintances, family members, friends. Yourself, use these people and yourself as case studies. If you can, if you have access to these individuals, have them write you a testimonial, okay? And then use that to your advantage to help you sell the service that you are presenting as your solution, okay? And offer breakdowns in your content, in your live streams, in your pre-recorded videos, and any kind of content you do at least 3 times a week. And I would say, at least in the beginning, and not everybody's comfortable with this, but I did this myself, okay, in the beginning, and it works for me still to this day, is going live at least once a week. Okay, so right now, as of this recording, I'm recording pre-recorded videos 3 times a week, but I also had a live stream show like for 3 months straight, for 6 months straight before. I mean, I used to go live all the time, and I still go live sporadically now, not as much because I'm not necessarily doing a live stream show. But when you do, there is consistency there. You establish yourself as first of all, people can see the face of the brand. They get to interact with you in real time. Okay. They get to energetically connect with you. They get to know what your approach is and what your teaching methodologies are, which you can do on a pre-recorded video, but it's nothing like a live stream if you have the courage to do it. And even if you don't, do it through the fear until you get better, right? Because you want to establish yourself as the leader, as a thought leader, as a catalyst for change. You want to be a credible source. You want to be able to answer questions in real time and connect with your audience, right? This is how people buy into you a lot quicker, faster, and sooner. So I would highly recommend, for brand visibility and awareness purposes, to go live at least once a week. And if you're too afraid to do that right now and you got to muster up the courage, okay, as you're working on that, at least go ahead and consistently post content, whatever cadence it might be. It doesn't have to be once a week, or excuse me, 3 times a week like I'm doing. It could be once a week, twice a week, every day, 3 times a week, whatever works for you. Just find some consistency in that. Okay. Now, the next thing I want you to do is track first. Track your metrics, then tweak what you're doing or not doing, what you're doing too much of, maybe not enough of. So here's the thing. So many people are so quick to just say where they failed. Oh, this didn't work. I did this for a week, a month, or however long, and it didn't. And it's usually a short period of time. And they don't give it enough time, and they already say, oh, I'm throwing in the towel. This failed. This didn't work. Well, did you really give it enough time? How do you know that? Did you measure it? So KPIs, or key performing indicators, are important. Metrics tell the story, right? You need to use that failure, that so-called failure, as feedback, so that you can take that information and continue to test to see what works and what doesn't. So you're going to test, you're going to track, you're going to tweak accordingly, and you're going to sell daily. Okay? You're going to test, you're going to track, you're going to tweak, and you're going to sell daily, in that order. Review the results weekly. And don't beat yourself up. It's kind of like as you're on a journey to lose weight. You notice I use the word journey because it is that. If you're trying to shed pounds and get your energy back and do all these things, maybe your body's not the same as what it used to be, right? Maybe you're older now, and so you're not as flexible, and you don't have the same range of motion, and you're heavier than you've ever been. And, it didn't take you overnight to get to where you are, in other words. So it's not going to be an overnight process to get out of where you are, right? In order for you to lose the weight and feel good and be healthy again. It's a lifestyle change. But as you continue to take incremental steps, you're going to notice the changes. So when you do weigh yourself as a part of one of your metrics, which a lot of people do, you shouldn't beat yourself up if every week or every day you're weighing yourself and you notice that you hadn't lost as much weight as you had anticipated you would by now. You've got to give yourself some grace. Same difference here, same thing. You've got to give yourself some grace, with the understanding that it is a process and it is a journey. Okay. And that's where the saying comes from when we talk about this being a marathon and not a sprint. That's exactly right. So hold on to that and understand that, and then give yourself some grace and some space, and just know that it's going to take some time. Okay. But track your conversion rate and ask for the sale every day. That's where so many entrepreneurs, new and seasoned entrepreneurs, by the way, go wrong, is they don't ask for the sale. Okay, you've got to ask for the sale. You have to, because that's what every business who's still in business does. Okay, think about it. Any business, any industry, this is what they do, right? Think of yourself as the consumer, and what your consumer habits are, and what is the emotions that drives your spending habits, or what are your needs when you spend money. Like, pay attention to yourself as the consumer, and then reverse engineer that and think about your client as the consumer, and also yourself as the bigger business. You understand what I'm saying? And that's how you can also get to the bottom line of, oh, okay, I get it. This is a whole concept and it makes complete sense. Like, duh, right? So now, when I first crafted and this is just an example, I always like to give examples. And so when I first crafted my high ticket offer, and I'm going to go with when I first started, and maybe it's my second year into business, when I hired my first coach. Actually, she taught me high ticket sales. That was her thing. And she told me how to position myself, how to promote the offer, how to package it up so that I can profit from it. And that's exactly what I did. Followed her step-by-step guidance and support. Okay. But what I did that might have been different from, and I didn't do this actually until later, when I hired my second business coach and I started learning more about marketing, is the power of the pre-sale. Okay. So after I had build, and you do all this work. See, this is where people go wrong. They do things in the wrong order at the wrong time. And that's what my problem was in the beginning too, is I built out this whole amazing offer that when I went to launch it, there were crickets, right? Why? Because I didn't have a big audience. I didn't have really a loyal audience or fans at all yet, right? I didn't even know really how to build an audience, or I didn't really have an email list yet, right? I didn't have like a lot of things in place. And so I did all of that building and I was super excited about it. And it's not true when they tell you build it and they will come. It doesn't happen that way. So when I actually took the time, this time I said, I'm not taking the time to build it first. I'm going to do a pre-launch. Okay, I'm going to soft sell this. I'm going to sell it as if it's already built, but I'm not going to build it yet. I'm just going to structure, like do an MVP, like, like a minimal value. What is MVP? I use that term so much and now I can't even think of the term. Viable offer or product. I don't know. It's going to come to me after the fact. I don't know. My mind's drawing a blank. But anyways, MVP, it just means that you're just going to build the framework, basically. Okay. The framework to what it is you're going to ultimately build. And you can stop right there. You're going to pitch and promote that on your platforms. And then you're going to get people to buy in to that once you get people interested and inquiring. Okay. And what's going to actually validate whether you have a concept or not, that's what the market needs or what the market demands, is that you are going to have people purchasing or investing in this product or service prior to you actually fully building it out, so that you can protect your time and preserve your energy and not spend any money unnecessarily on things that people don't want. Okay. It's going to bother me that I can't think of MVP. I know the M is minimal, viable, product, price, solution. Anyways, if I think of it, I'm going to put it in the pinned comments. Okay. So that's what I want you to do. Here's another thing too, but this is what I did to replace my six-figure salary. And going back really quickly to that high ticket offer, this is something I did mean to mention, but this is important for you to know. In the beginning, you might be inclined to follow a lot of people who are doing different things out here. Okay. Let me tell you something. I've done it all the ways. The fastest way to scale is the one-to-many business model, especially if you are working a job still in corporate America and you need to replace your salary fast, right? Because you can scale a lot faster in this way. Now, there are pros and cons when you're doing this and you don't have a lot of experience. I would venture to say, although I wholeheartedly agree in the one, and I advocate heavily for the one-to-many business model, even if you're a beginner, but I also say there's something to be said about working with people, clients, one-on-one. Okay, so I did start with a group coaching offer for 3 months, right? But I also did one-on-ones, and I actually felt more comfortable and confident doing the one-on-ones initially because I was able to work out the kinks, understand really my client's need on a deeper level, right? Instead of casting a wide net, I can go deeper with one client at a time. I can be attentive to their needs. I can, I'm going to get a really great testimonial, right? And so I was able to work with clients 4 hours at a time, 6 hours, 8 hours, and you just do a price tier, tier 1 at a certain price point, tier 2 at a certain price point, tier 3. Basically, it's, a 3-tier package. So depending on if you're working with them for 4 hours or a couple of hours, you can even do this as an intensive. It doesn't have to be a VIP day like what I did. It could be a VIP day. It could be a intensive, right? It can be a strategy session or whatever it is you call it, but it's a one-on-one session. Okay. It just gives you the opportunity to work with clients individually and customize it to, because you don't want to take a cookie cutter approach. You want to be able to customize. Now, over time, that can become a burnout, especially if you are working a 9 to 5 and or running your business simultaneously, right? But You don't need to do this for long. And you can then, once you have 3 to 5 people under your belt where you've worked one-on-one and you've gotten great testimonials, you can now offer those same individuals your package deal where you are now doing like a group coaching program sort of thing. Okay. So I did want to mention that, and I'm glad I remembered. I was so busy thinking about the MVP terminology, right? That I think that just completely left my mind, but I'm glad I circled back on that because that would be important for you to know. So, but when you validate your offers, you're validating them with sales, and then you can build it out fully. Okay. And this is what I did without a website. This is what I did without a big list. This is what I did without complicated funnels. So this is what I'm also having you do. And another thing really quickly is I did have a client who replaced her corporate income using a hybrid approach, which I also teach and which I also have in place. Most of my group coaching programs and probably even my VIP days and my other programs are also hybrid. So, but that plus organic outreach can change the game. So, if you need help crafting your 10K plus a month business model, book your Freedom and Focus Clarity call with me today, okay? Today, and make sure that you get the help that you need in order to succeed so you can reach new heights and new levels. This again is a game changer. I hope you found it helpful. Now I'm going to tune out while you tune in. Be sure to share this video out with at least 3 friends and watch the next video that YouTube recommends. As always, and until next time, I am wholeheartedly in this journey with you. Bye for now.